Having a full year to be with this defense now, what are you looking forward to in year two, and how much better do you think you guys can be?
Oh, man, great question. I think we're just going to take it up another level with the guys that we have coming back. Guys, we have a great locker room. Guys, we've been communicating through all of this whole time, just trying to bring the younger guys along. And, these Zoom meetings with our coaches have been very helpful, and we're just correcting all our mistakes and, just trying to get better as a unit.
Jim Wetzel?
Hi, Stephen. I think it was Peyton Manning that said how teams handle this unique situation right now, how they work out together, how they get things done right now is going to determine who wins this thing. How is this team working out? How do you feel the camaraderie and everything right now?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, your veterans and, leadership has to definitely take place. And, guys are definitely doing that. And on our team, guys are, planning like little small practices, just to get guys around each other and, just to build that camaraderie back up and, just to walk over, old plays, or if guys have questions, just to be around the guys. It's not a better feeling than, being around guys. The Zoom meetings are only going to get you so far. So, like I said, the veteran guys, like myself, we're all just, trying to find ways to, combat that as best we can.
Ray Fittipaldo?
Hey, Steve, I wanted to ask you, it's been a tough week for this country, and I'm just wondering, what roles do you think professional athletes can play in this process of healing and, with everything that's going on, not only in Pittsburgh, but, across the country? Right.
Good question. That's a good thing about, being a professional athlete. We have, a big platform, to kind of, speak out for the people and just voice our opinions and our thoughts and, try to, create a change the best way we can. And, a lot of guys have big followings on social media. So I think that's a great start, for guys like myself to just try to, spread positivity and love throughout our country, man, because, God knows we all need it right now, despite what's going on, in spite of what's going on.
Brian Batko?
Hey, Steve. Thanks for doing this, man. Kind of similar to Ray's question just now. What kind of conversations have you guys had with Coach Tomlin or assistants or even others in the organization just about the issues at hand right now in the country, from police brutality to various protests to players being active on social media about it?
Right. Yeah. We've had a few discussions about everything, and we're all about bringing positive change and just trying to be the best people that we can be and be actually outlets for our country, and just try to use ourselves to kind of bring everybody together, if that makes sense. So we've been talking a few instances about everything that's going on, and I do think it's time for a change in our country. And so we're all trying to do our job, man. Nobody wants stuff like this to happen, so we all just try to do what we can on the side.
Mark Cabali?
Hey, Stephen. Last year, your numbers were very similar to the best in the league, the Gilmores, the Whites. except for the interceptions. Do you think that that was the difference between you and potentially a Pro Bowl appearance? And how do you, it's not like you can go out there and try to get interceptions. How do you improve that part of your game?
Right. Yeah, I do think that was a major part of the reason why I didn't get selected in the Pro Bowl, even though, the numbers were similar, like you mentioned. It was just the interceptions, the big plays. I was lacking in that area. And like you said, it's hard to just go out there and just say, oh, I'm going to get some interceptions. You have to get some targets, man. So I don't know, like I have like little conversations with my inner circle, and maybe I have to do some talking this year and get guys to throw at me or something. But whatever it takes. But I do feel like this year that I'll get more than one interception at least. So it should be a better year for me in that field, in that area.
Chris Adamski.
Hey, Stephen, do you and Joe have a kinship as, I don't know what, a pair of starting corners, whether there's always a bond between you two, and have you guys have that? And do you guys have a confidence or a belief that you are, one of the best or the best or whatever in the league in terms of cornerback duos?
Oh, definitely, man. Joe's my guy, man. We like Batman and Robin, man. So, ever since I got to Pittsburgh, he's always been a very genuine guy, all around, just on and off the field. And, I think we bounce off each other, and, we're both competitive, highly competitive guys. And I think we feed off each other on the field. Like if he makes a play, then, I feel like I have to make a play. So I think we pair together very well.
Albie with WPXI.
Thank you, Alyssa. Hi, Steve.
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for your time. How anxious are you to get back? I mean, everybody's done a pretty good job of, you were talking about Zoom meetings and you've done Zoom interviews but how ready are you to get back to doing what you do and get back on the field with your teammates?
Man, I'm super ready, man. Like, I just been having that itch to just get back out there on the field, man. I don't care if it's flag football right now. It's no better feeling than to get out there with your guys and, compete against other teams and stuff like that, and go through those hard camp days and stuff like that, man. It builds character, it builds a fight, it builds a lot of things. Not just the football part, man. So I'm very anxious to get back, and hopefully that'll be soon.
Dean with WPXI.
Hey, Steve. I'm just wondering, in terms of the comments that Drew Brees made and then his apology today, how much further does maybe his apology go in helping the dialogue, or was it too late to walk back what he said, in your opinion?
Yeah, it was rough, man, to see that just from a guy like that, just because, he's very well respected throughout our league, man. And, a lot of people, even myself, look up to him. So, his statement or comment, whatever, was very, insensitive to the whole situation. And so I think that itself just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Even myself, man, I'm glad he apologized for it. I don't really hold grudges, but, I can't really speak for everybody else in the world, and I'm sure a lot of people, it's going to be hard to come back from that, just because of what's going on right now.
Jeff Hathorn.
Hey, Steve. Thanks again for doing this.
No problem.
Just curious, do you guys discuss, is there anything that you can do pre-game or during a game to show support to get, systemic racism away? I mean, you saw what happened with Colin, but do you discuss what you guys might be able to do pre-game or during a game to help lead attention to this?
No, we haven't had those type discussions as far as in detail when it comes to pregame stuff like that. You know, I always felt like in the locker room, that's just always been a place for unity, because you do have, you know, all types of races, you know, that you're around, you know, on your, you know, and you build that brotherhood. So, you know, we don't really feel racism that much inside the locker room. You know, we could joke around with each other and nobody gets offended. You know, that's kind of what you want to have when it comes, you know, to our country. So I think with our platform, yes, we do have a voice, and we can, you know, just try to spread that same love that we have for one another in our locker room into the whole world.
Noah with Maven.
Hey, Steven.
Hey.
So heading into your second year at Pittsburgh, where do you see this defense, you know, amongst the NFL with compared to other units?
Man, I think we're arguably, we have to be in that, you know, top category, wherever that may be. You know, we're stacked from top to bottom. You know, even non-starters, you know, are very talented. You know, we have, you know, great coaching. So I think we definitely have a group to take us all the way. You know, so I think that speaks volumes, you know, and if we can just kind of duplicate and get better than what we did last year, especially with Ben coming back, I think we all know that will change a lot. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Hey, Steve. I've seen some teams have canceled Zoom meetings and other gatherings in the wake of the protests and everything with George Floyd. I was curious if the Steelers have done anything like that. And then I also saw that you tweeted that the bond just between the coach and the owners and the players and in Pittsburgh is so much different than other things you've experienced. I just was curious what was different about it.
Right. Yeah, we didn't cancel any meetings. And that doesn't mean that, you know, our coaches aren't sensitive to what's going on. It's just mean we didn't cancel any meetings. You know, I've seen that amongst the league, but hey, what was your other question? I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just the tweet that you had saying that the bond between the coaches and the players and the owners in Pittsburgh is just different. I was curious, what is different about it from your perspective?
It's just like they, you know, they just let you be yourself. Like, you know, it's not like walking on eggshells around there, man. Like, you see Mr. Rooney and his family, they always come down. You know, we're talking about ownership. You know, he's always in the building, you know, speaking to us. You know, it's just like it feels at home, you know, and just from top to bottom, like Coach Tomlin, very down-to-earth guy. You know, he's a players coach. You know, it's just in our whole locker room, the whole organization, man. Like from the janitors to the lunch staff, and you know, just everybody, our training staff. It's just one big family in that, and you know, I just feel like I should shine some light on that. You know, I'm just trying to shine positivity and, you know, the best way I can. And, you know, I just wanted to show appreciation that I felt that energy my first year in Pittsburgh. Oh, can't forget about the fans too. You know, I kind of left them out, but, you know, they've been solid this whole time as well. So.
Will Graves, AP.
Hey, Steven. Kind of torn here between asking you like a football question or like a big picture question.
Go ahead.
So
man.
I'm going to try to sneak both in. Feel free to answer either one or both or neither. Basically, big picture. I mean, do you feel like this moment, what's going on now, has been simmering in this country for 400 years? You know, It's been a battle for 400 years. Do you feel like this moment, that real change is feasible? What gives you that hope? And the second question is, which is football related, is there's going to be no camp at St. Vincent this year. How do you anticipate that sort of affecting sort of the team building that happens during the preseason?
Right. Yeah. So I think you're right. Like this stuff has been going on before, all of us really. And I do think that things always have to get worse before they get better. So if this is what it takes, if people have to protest or riot or loot, just to send a message, then that's just what it is, But, I'm all for positivity and just trying to do everything the right way. But that's just me. So I do think, this is not just in America. Like, you see protesters all across the world. So it's kind of a big deal. And I think it will, if it doesn't change, all of it, I think it changes a great amount of it, if that makes sense. So I think it's good. And then your second question was, what was your second question again?
I was just basically like not going to St. Vincent, having camp down at the South Side. I mean, does that not being in the dorms with guys, do you anticipate, is that going to have a potentially, what kind of effect is that going to have on the team building that happens in the preseason?
Right. I don't think it's going to have a major effect on us, just because Coach Tomlin runs a pretty tight ship over there, and it's all about getting us ready and prepared, for battle, and like we're all professionals, so we can handle it, whatever. I mean, we're taking this very well when it comes to not being able to go to OTAs and stuff like that. Like we've all been handling it pretty well. So I think that's just another, I guess, hump in the road, if you would say. And whatever we have to do or adjustments, then we'll take care of it, and we'll be successful either way.
Dale with DK Sports.
Stephen, last year at this time, you were new to the team. Devin was new to the team. Minka wasn't even on the team yet. Mark was new to the team. You had a lot of new pieces on the back end of that defense. Now you guys are returning as a group together. You forced a lot of turnovers last year. You mentioned earlier in the talk that you wanted to, perhaps force more turnovers yourself. How good can this defense be even better than it was last year because of that continuity that you're taking into this season?
Right. I believe so, man. It's, it's nothing like, it's kind of like, you think about college, like you're there with guys for 4 years and you just build that brotherhood. And like, when each year, your team gets a little better because, you're playing with your brothers, you're amongst each other, and, you trust each other. I think that has a lot to do with it. Despite we were all kind of new last year, we were able to, have a tremendous amount of turnovers. That's very rare to do, but I think this year we'll take that next step, because we all have played around each other and have that experience, and, we'll just, correct what we have to correct and move forward.
Last question goes to Joe with DVE.
Hi, Stephen. Thanks for your time. I was just wondering, given this different offseason, especially with the pandemic and not being around the team, is there any sort of positive you've experienced through working out individually or maybe having your own training schedule?
You're asking like what am I doing, like training wise?
Yeah, and if there's any positives to having like your own control over that.
Yeah, I think so. Me personally, I'm already like self-driven and motivated. I don't really need like a lot of, I guess, somebody telling me what to do. But so I kind of like the alone time to train, and because I know what I have to focus on going to my 6th year. As far as like somebody like one of the younger guys who might need like, somebody to kind of put them on track, so it's a little different for me at this point in my career. So it's been positive. Like I'm feeling really good, and at the same time, I get to spend more time with my family because once you're in season and you get going, it's just work at that point. So, I think it's a positive, and I think everything is, is kind of working out a little bit.